Whew. I didn't think that was going to work. Hello. Ooh, that's a bit bright. Hold on. None of these lights are very flattering. Like an old bastard. I can assure you I'm not. Let me just get straightened up a little bit. That a bit better? Can you see the reflectivity of my little globe thing? So what's it like with that off? We'll leave it off just for a little while if you don't mind. Because I think this is a bit more intimate, you know? Who doesn't like a little bit of intimacy on a Friday night? Hello, Lana. You can hear and see me okay. Unfortunate for you. Hello, Dave. How you doing? You all right? Bit squinty. I was born that way, Lana. Blame me mum. She was born with a mattress on her back. Still a bit squinty. I'm not quite sure what's occurring here. I'll bring that across a bit more. We'll get there. Oh, that'll have to do. It'll have to do. Is that okay? We all good with that? Hello, Michael. You all right, me, China? Thanks for joining us. I want a black pepper. So, no alcohol tonight. So I've had to knock up a little concoction because I go on so much about how important a good, healthy gut biome is because it makes a massive difference. You know, it's the first line of defense, one of them. And every time you drink, you could work all week building up a really good gut biome and then fuck it all up on a Friday and a Saturday night by getting tanked. So I am still drinking out of my wooden goblet because I think it's kind of part of the furniture now on live streams. But what I've got, if you can look at that, see it sort of dropping down a little. I have to keep stirring it. It's not particularly pleasant. And in an ideal world, if someone was to say, Terry, what? You know, instead of vodka, why don't you have water, cinnamon, freshly squeezed orange juice, turmeric, black pepper, and honey instead on a Friday night? I'd go, fuck off. But that's what I've got. And it's not particularly pleasant, but I know it's good for me, you know, and I know that knocking alcohol on the head is going to affect my patience levels with noises. But I'll hopefully get into a better sleeping pattern, and things can only improve when you stop drinking alcohol. You know, it's the devil's juice. It's so bad. Need to work on smoking next, you know, but having said that, I don't think having a few fags during the day can, to our American friends, I mean cigarettes, you know, not having a few homosexuals around a couple of times a day. I don't roll that way. But yeah, smoking tobacco that you've grown yourself, you know, 2 or 3 times a day. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Again, I think it's all the additives and all that shit that they put in there. They cause the problems. It's not pure tobacco. Who else we got in? Hey, it's our 4x4 fella. Good to see you again, brother. I haven't seen you for a while. Thanks, mate. Had a checkup yesterday. Blood pressure now normal and cholesterol is down. Brilliant. Brilliant. You know, get some quinoa down you. And maybe consider going out and picking a load of hawthorns and making a tincture. Those polyphenols will help. It's all about the polyphenols. But yeah, it sounds like you're on a really good trajectory, my friend, and staying healthy, you know, is just, it's priceless. You can't put a price on your life. And all of the turmoil and the stress that we've all gone through from that kind of major jolt at the start of the pandemic, don't make all that for nothing. You're getting yourself fit, healthy and strong for a reason. One second. Stress can be worse for you than cigs. Yeah, absolutely. And it's, look, I'm not encouraging anyone to start smoking, but there are countless studies out there. Those studies could be, some of these studies could be suspect, because the amount of money that's made from tobacco products is just ridiculous. Trillions. So, and then they put so much effort, time and effort into making, because cigarettes were really just for men, you know, no offense, ladies, don't shoot the messenger. And that was it. Women, it was like, I'm a lady. I don't want to smell cigarette smoke. I don't want to walk down the road looking like a bloke, you know? And then the tobacco companies thought, we're missing out on 50% of a fucking market here. So they splash shitloads and loads of money onto real proper A-lister stars when A-list meant something, you know? Next thing you know, these very elegant actresses were like, you know, a fag in a little plastic thing that added 3 times to the length. It's like, oh, can you hold on to that end? Oh, okay, now. Action. They made it look elegant and posh. So next thing you know, all of the easily led sheep out there, all of the ladies, the bored housewives, like, oh, our Betty. What, our Vera? She's smoking a fag on the telly. You know, like what Frank smokes? Oh, we should get some in. We can be ladies too. That's literally the mentality. Anyway, I've gone right off track there. And that's why, you know, that's why women ended up starting to smoke, because of that. And the tobacco companies were all behind that because it was so lucrative, still is. But there's so much, there are so many simple experiments you can do yourself that smoking does bring down stress levels. Stress can be a killer. So anyway, right round the houses there, Dave, to say, yep, you're right. Smoking the tobacco I grew last year has saved me a fortune. It tastes cleaner. I noticed that. It's dead smooth, you know, it's really smooth. Or don't worry, I don't work for Benson and Hedges or Golden Virginia. Although I wouldn't mind some free pies from Frey Bentos. How many videos have I bigged up their pies? Not a peep. I've not heard a fucking word from them. I have to wait for the 2 for £4, like you. it tastes better as you go along, you know. And I think when you know that it's good for you, when you know that your body's benefiting from it, that takes away the, you know, that's like a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. Just that mental thought, you know, like there's any other kind of thought. I need to get a load of quinoa. I keep wanting to say, oh, you're going to get some quinoa in, are you? Get some quinoa in our kid. I don't know if there's much of a difference between the brown, the red, and the white. I'm not sure. I do think that one's more expensive. One's more. One's grown on a greater scale. The white one's grown on a greater scale than the others. So I've never really looked into it. I just know that it's a complete protein. So that's all I need to know. Sold. Got a load of different dried beans and lentils delivered today. Brilliant. Well, as for lentils, I know that nearly every shop, even I call him Packy Paul, but and I mean that in a really nice way, because I really like the guy. He's a Hindu guy. But me and Sal, we were like, just nip into Packy Paul's instead of one stop. Just nip into Packy Paul's. It's an affectionate thing, you know. So his name's not Paul. B, he's not a Packy. His name's Raj. But even Packy Paul sells red lentils. But there's red lentils and then there's red lentils. Now, when it comes to pulses, you are better off getting organic. You know, with stuff like rice and things like that, I don't think it really matters. Not really. In fact, I don't think I'd be surprised if organic rice actually existed, because it's so mass produced, because it's in so much demand that they've had to come up with loads and loads of different practices to maximize the output. But when I went online, I was trying to find the cheapest one I could find that was organic, and then I did a little bit of research into the company as well, and it does seem legit, because a lot of these companies, it's like, oh yeah, it's organic, you know. God, I look really fucking creepy then. So this was one of the cheapest I could find. Just natural organic red lentils, split red lentils, 2 kilos for 11 quid delivered. So I think that's really, really good. Again, if I've got some sort of affiliation, which I never have, apart from maybe the occasional seller, but even then I don't make any extra. I get the same discount as you get. So I've got no affiliation with these whatsoever. But if you want me to put a link up for these 2 bags of organic split red, fuck's sake, I'll put a link up, because we need protein and we need variety, and lentils have got the highest amount of protein than any other lentil, you know. And it's lovely with tomato. Make a nice tomato and lentil soup, or just a lentil soup, you know. Soups are going to be anything that can be made in one big pot to feed the family. It's the way to go. I will miss things like a full Sunday roast dinner, things like that. I will miss that, but we're moving into a new era, you know. Once we've got all over I love it when people go, it's going to get bumpy, and I'm sat there thinking, bumpy. Bang. Move out of the way, you fucking optimist. Where are we? Well, yeah, good on you, Dave. I stopped smoking November of last year. Used varicella Klein, Varin. I've never heard of that, let alone learn to pronounce it. Was easy. Yeah. But when you say it's easy, what you need to do is get a second opinion. And that second opinion should always come from your missus. I quit smoking for 6 months and I was going, oh, it was a piece of piss. No patches, no gum, nothing. Hardcore, cold turkey. And Sal's looking at me like that. He was a cunt. No, she didn't say that. She never used that word. But I remember it very differently. Oh dear. But yeah, I'm glad you quit smoking, mate. Keep going. You'll feel loads and loads of extra energy, and if you keep going with a healthier diet. But again, work on your cardio. Go up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. If you go up the stairs, down the stairs, up the stairs, down the stairs, just up twice and down twice, and you feel knackered, you're not fit. Just saying. But you're getting everything spot on, Mio China. You really are. Got a 2-litre batch of sauerkraut for missing. Oh, Lana. What? Literally? Oh, right. Sorry. I thought that was a metaphor. I'm still learning, Lana. I don't think it's meant to be cloudy like that. But I'm learning. I think I needed to sort of shred it a bit more. But sauerkraut, everyone, please consider making your own sauerkraut, because you can make shitloads of the stuff. And I mean shitloads of it. And it will see you all the way through winter without refrigeration. So all of those leaves that you've got on your cauliflowers, the leaves you've got on your broccoli, all of those things that a lot of the time people would throw away, use all them up. The leaves on your Brussels sprouts, use all them up. The stalks that your Brussels sprouts grow on, the stalks that your broccoli grows on, the stalks that come off your beetroot, all of them, grate them away. Great. Make sauerkraut. Waste not, want not. There's very little we need to waste. Maybe I was thinking of the sunflower stem, but I don't think that'd work. But the others would, definitely, 100%. I've been eating fermented food for over a month now. Body feels a lot better. It's all those enzymes it's incredible stuff. It's mad. All you need is what you would normally throw away years ago, and some good quality salt and good quality water. Looking forward to this batch in a few weeks, and I'm gonna make kimchi. Oh, I really do need to get around to making some of that. It's really got my attention, especially the fact that it can help to purge microplastics out of your body, because we need to get that shit out of it. And there aren't that, as far as I know, there's 2 main ones, and that's kimchi and fenugreek that can do that. But I'm sure there's plenty more. It's just that I can't do a deep dive into like one subject and then just make that my life. I need to just spread myself out a little bit. Again, I'm like a sort of like a little bit of a jack of all trades, but definitely no master of any of them. And I think that's a good thing, because then if everyone else was like that, there's still going to be bits that I've missed that you haven't, and bits that you've missed and I haven't, And I love sharing this sort of information and learning from you guys. I love it. It's what makes us whole. It's what makes us grow, It's what makes us survive. God, I used to smoke branches. Dave. Just call me Terry. There's no need for the God bit. I used to smoke branches in hedges. Oh my God, yeah. They were, weren't they? Like that. It's like just kind of like lighting it, and you're like, what's that? You pull out a branch, and then you go to light your fag, and it just goes, because that was the fag. That's thick. Oh, got loads of mung beans. Get some cream for that, Dave. Get some cream. Rub it in. You'll be all right. Around 25% protein and tons of amino acids. Yeah, they're absolutely spot on. I've eaten all my other, I've not got any more going. Again, it's on my little list of things to do. Where are you, bastard? I had my hands on them. Woodfoot trees, but I brought another jar down full of mung beans. When I first bought mung beans, I thought mung. But I didn't know what they were. I just knew that I needed to buy as many different beans as possible, right? Because this bean's going to have a little bit more of something that bean's got. You know, I'm not going to go into like a bean verbal essay, because people will just fucking drop off and fall asleep. But just, I knew that I needed to buy as much variety of beans as possible. Rice is rice, generally speaking. And mung beans was one of them. And it wasn't until a little bit further down the line, really, that I realised that bean sprouts, which I loved, were originally mung beans. So I put a shitload more in. And now I know I can do bean sprouts in a jar, just changing the water every day. It's a doddle. It's a piece of cake. And they're so good for you. Microgreens are so good for you. Because all of the goodness is concentrated into it, you know, to give the plant a chance. Hey up, Jordan, nearly missed you there, mate. I had to go up a little bit. Evening all, just had to check the day. You had me thinking it was Friday. I got some quinoa and some kimchi on my list for payday. Brilliant. Spot on, mate. You can't go wrong. You know, this is what I'm saying. We can all eat healthily without breaking the bank. We can. It's just that so many people are ridiculously fucking lazy. That's what it boils down to. It's like, can I be bothered to cook a meal from scratch? No. I'll put this, whatever the fuck this is, right? Looks 25 times better on the picture, right? I'm just going to put this in its plastic tray in the microwave for 15 minutes and then sit down and eat this poison whilst watching this shit day in, day out. There's no need to live like that, even if you're on a really tight budget. And you're testament to that because you're doing it and feeling it. When you start to get those extra surges of energy, you know, you're thinking, whoa, was there crack in that? Did that kimchi have cocaine in it? No. You're starting to feel how you're meant to feel. It's just that we've had years and years and years of our food becoming more and more and more processed, and our vegetables and fruit being sprayed with more and more and more poisons, that you feel lethargic. You feel lifeless most of the time. You can't be arsed. But as soon as you start to put that effort in and start to make food from scratch and start to eat fresh, especially if you're growing it yourself, bean sprouts are a perfect example of that, because everything that plant needs is within the seed, just like an egg. And if you're swapping the water out every single day with clean water, good quality water, then that's what that plant's taking on. So there's no pesticides, there's no herbicides, nothing. And when you get them to bean sprout size, they've got to that size through attention, you know, and you've looked at them and gone, oh, you know, change the water. But even that, oh, that is love, and you'll taste it. Would you get an ashtray? Oh man, I was hoping that spot me mung beans, but I can't find them. I know I've got them out somewhere. Whole food, earth, organic, GMO free, split red lentils, £10.95 for two kilograms. Well, you've just blown me out of the water there, Lana. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. You know, I thought I'll do a really nice thing to show them something nice and healthy. It says organic on it. You know, mine just says organic. That's it. But no, Lana has to go one extra, doesn't she? It's like, actually, Terry, these are whole food, earth, organic, GMO free, split red lentils for 5 pence less. Go away, Lana. You've done me head in now. She said I was much nicer than when I tried 10 years back. I've lost the thread. I've fallen behind again. We've only just got going. But that still sounds. She said I was much nicer. You've been dirty. You've been dirty, Dave. Dave. Whenever we talk about Dave who? Dirty Dave. Oh, that Dave. He's a fucker, he is. Proper old school, that is. I don't even know what that was. You know, we understand what that means. Ugh. You know, instead of like that. What's with that? Why is that required? One of life's little mysteries. Anyway, kimchi is quite expensive compared to sauerkraut. Yeah, but I think kimchi does what sauerkraut does and then some. So it's worth the extra expense. And again, fish sauce can be quite expensive. Can be quite pricey. But then just use dark soy. Just use soy sauce, you know, and you'll still get the same. I don't think you can skimp on too many of the ingredients, because then it's not going to be kimchi anymore, is it? But it is more expensive. But again, you can't put a price on your health. You really can't. But I've been indulging. Usually add a bit of extra hot sauce. I love a bit of spice, me, mate. I've got several jars of kimchi that I'll never eat ever. So, but because I know it'll pretty much last forever, that'll be some sort of barter item. So I've got something really expensive there. I didn't really want to give it away, but I can see you've got a battery there and you're hungry. And oh man, I really didn't want to give this away. There you go. I'm not eating that. It's got fish sauce in it. Nah, not happening. I was telling my brother about microplastics, folic acid, smart dust, etc. He was shocked. Seeds planted. Do you think what's your relationship with him like, Jordan, if you don't mind me asking? Do you think he believed you? Because I hope so. I really do. I really do. But regardless, you know, as we know, it all goes in. As long as what we're trying to put across is the truth, then keep planting those seeds, mate, because it'll all help further down the line. Been meaning to try buy Whole Foods online for dried beans and puss. Oh, I thought it said pusses. These aren't my oh, there's no excuse for that at all. But the pulsers, but the missus has been having fun getting all sorts from Asda. Glad she's on board. Oh, that really gives me a buzz, mate. It genuinely does, because there are a lot of men out there that have got missuses that, you know, where he's not got jabbed, she got jabbed, and like he's trying to prep and she's thinking he's a nut job, and it's just been so divisive. It's just split people straight down the middle. So when I get to hear about Michael and his missus, like, you know, cracking on and she sort of, you know, she sort of gets it, and your missus gets it. It's so good. It's so good, because you're a team. You came together as a team. And just remember, even though things, you know, you might not be shagging each other like rabbits like you used to, all of us are still the same men and women that we were when we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 5, 20, 25, but with add-ons. So Michael, Dave, you know, you're still the same men that made your woman feel safe and loved. You're still the same man, still the same men. You know, make her feel that way again, if you're not already. Yeah, you had me thinking it was Friday too when it's only Thursday. Oh my God, I thought it was Friday. Oh my God. Oh, I feel like such a tard. I've even put Friday night live. I genuinely thought it was Friday. And I've been rushing around like a blue arse fly today to try and get certain things done today, because the places I needed to get other things done are closed on a Saturday. So I've been running around like a headless chicken today. I think I've got to get this done, got to get this done, got to get this done. You know, like the little white rabbit, like running around like a little fucking lunatic with 75,000 Duracell batteries rammed up his arse. Like, got to go. That's how I've been today. Yeah, I could do it all tomorrow. Well, fuck me sideways. It's made sense now, because someone said earlier on, you know, I think because I did a live stream on a Saturday instead of a Friday, I thought that was what you meant. So I genuinely believed that today was Friday. So anyway, much love to you all, and I'll see you. Oh, I think I've only got about 4 or 5 brain cells left, but they're very efficient, you know, or not. Even in even in the food prep haul video, I said I'll see you in the live stream tonight. I thought it was Friday. I just had to look at my watch, thinking you were winding me up. That's really done my head in. but in a good way, you know, because the week's not over yet, because weeks are going so fast, they're just flying past, you know, like time has just gone zip, 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 zip. Oh man. And I'll tell you another thing. So the car insurance is due and it's expensive. So I've had to go and sell a Sovereign. Now, bearing in mind, I paid about, and I did a video, you know, about 2.5 years ago saying you can buy one of these, you could buy a Sovereign for just over 200 quid. That was 2.5 years ago. Now, I've every now, because I've had a few things come out the woodwork, and I've got a significant amount of money back. For bearing in mind, if you bought one for say 220 quid, right? They would have been making a profit on that, so they were probably buying him in for about 180, 170, right? And then selling them to you for 200, 220. So what they buy them off you for and what they sell them for is very different. So I sold a Sovereign a couple of months ago and got 700 quid for it. I sold a Sovereign today that likely cost me just over 200 quid for £925. Nothing is appreciated. There's absolutely nothing. I hope some of you guys, you know, jumped on that bandwagon. I wish my dad had. So I made £700 off a coin. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. I do apologize, guys. We could have one tomorrow as well. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, well, I'm glad I fucked your head up there, Lana. Because you fucked mine up with the lentils. I don't forget about things like that, especially when it comes to lentils and whole foods. You know, you can make enemies over whole foods, especially lentils. So it's gone in there. I hadn't really bothered with much fermenting food until finding your channel, Carl Jung. It's a J, J-U-N-G. It shouldn't be, because it's a J. It should be Jung. Well, no. I think I found it's Young. Oh, all right, whatever, mate. But anyway, very clever man. Had something going when he focused on serendipity, meaningful coincidence is great, lol. It is. Again, we're all interconnected. You picture a pond, right? And a pond that is so still that it looks like a sheet of glass. Now, when it starts to just a little bit of a rain, you can just, you know, when you've got no air, that's an early warning system. I can tell everyone, it's spitting, everybody in, it's spitting. I felt it, right? So when you look at that, what was like a sheet of glass as a pond, and you see each droplet land, right? And each droplet sends out a circle like that. And then the next droplet, another circle. All those circles sort of overlap each other. That's us. That should be a healthy society. And it makes all the difference. It really does. So I've just gone down. I'm going to catch up now. Next day delivery, though. You just can't help yourself, can you, Lana? I had to wait 3 days for these bastards. Whatever. It's not the fucking lentil wars. Well, it wasn't until now. Feel so much better, so much healthier with a slight diet adjustment. We are what we eat. Some of my tablets slow my gut right down. The sauerkraut and kimchi are priceless. Well, that doesn't leave much to the imagination. Scared to cough, are we? Oh no. Bit like that. But it is, it's great for your gut. Great for your gut. Really, really is. Brilliant. Right up there. Glad I'm not the only one who loses a day. It's all good, man. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's very confusing. Yeah, very close with my brother. Always good. Always been one that he believes what he believes. He got the COVID jab, but regrets it. Slowly waking up. Good. Well, did you just get one, Jordan? I hope so. Even if you got two, I hope they were both saline, because that's definitely a thing. I don't just say stuff to make people feel a little bit more relieved and a little bit, although I do sometimes, but it's always the truth. The whole saline thing was very real. If they put that mad juice in everybody, it would have been. I'm sure you can imagine. But I'm glad that you're a good influence on him. I really am. Slow but sure is good enough. That's why I had to check the day. I'm glad that you had to check the day. This isn't right. And I am a creature of habit, generally speaking. I'm trying not to be, because being a creature of habit is not necessarily a good thing, especially moving forward through these dark times. You don't want to be seen as too predictable. The days merge. We all lose days. Funny though. It is. We've got to have a crack. About it. Especially it's when it's like, oh no, I thought it was Friday, but it's Saturday. It's when we've not lost a day. I've just gained a day. So I'm quite chuffed about it. Just a bit embarrassed at how retarded it is. It's like, tell me, you just nothing do. Can you not tell the difference between a Friday and a Thursday? They both end with day. So you can see where the confusion is. Hold on, I've missed somebody. Just bear with me a second. Pictman 777 very lucky, and Pictman sounds like Pac-Man. So old school. And your username's probably got nothing to do with Pac-Man whatsoever. So I do apologise, my friend. 5G, mate. Get out where you live. 5G, got 6G on the ready. That I believe that is the ultimate crowd control, which is why these masts need to go. But if any of them fall down where I live, don't come knocking on my door, piggies. You can fuck off. You'll get a bolt in the head. But welcome to the live stream, Picked Man. I got funny looks at B&M. Popped in after my medical. 400 gram peck pork was only £1.90. All I can taste is black pepper and fucking hell. It's not, it doesn't repeat nice. Was only £1.97, got tons of it, and tuna. You'd have thought it would grow in a second. Fucking, I know we do get some funny looks. You know, in farm foods today, it was like, you like pasta then? Yeah, I do. You know, I could have turned around and said, "You're not a prepper, are you? You're not a prepper." Let him through. Let him through. You go first, mate. Dead man walking. Dead man. No, that's dark. Sorry. That's not nice. No. Bloody auto corrupts. I prefer to call it that. Auto corrupts. I don't like it at all. Jung should have been the more prominent psychologist, but the drones couldn't understand his mystical side. I know. Well, anyone that talks sense and has the potential ability to wake hundreds of thousands, if not millions, when you look at the ripple effect, the butterfly effect, they don't want that, do they? That's why we've got the education system that we've got, to attack young minds as quickly and as soon as possible. So yeah, I mean, people like that, even people like you, are going to all be vilified, but not forever. You'll go from vilified to revered because of your wisdom, because you were right about so many things, and they'll come to realize that eventually. We just don't, you know, again, keep planting seeds, don't force anything on anyone. I do find that the slightly more aggressive approach is doing the trick. Not always, but I do get frustrated with people. You know, we've had nearly 6 years of this shit, so if you forgot when I walk in a room what you were looking for, you're under attack. I'm healthy as fuck now. No forgetting. Yeah, there's definitely something in it. I mean, I did buy a little device, but it was a shit one. You get what you pay for with these devices to test EMF. But because I got what I got for that little sovereign, I will invest in a better EMF meter, and I'll go around and do some shorts here and there, just to show you, just to give you a demonstration. But again, bearing in mind that these 5G masks, they're not on full thing. They're only on about 1 or 2 when it goes up to about 50. There's definitely a connection between those masts and graphene and any other metal that's in you, conductive. So we know that kimchi and fenugreek, for example, gets rid of microplastics. Again, your tea bags, you pour in red hot water straight onto plastic and then stirring it in your mug. Madness. Yeah, I love lentils. I'm sorry I'm behind, guys, but don't slow down on your chat. I will catch up to you, I promise. I might just be a bit behind. Made lentil soup today, empowered me, and made me feel great. Good, because it's a really healthy soup. It's really good for you. You know, it's again, it's there's loads of protein in there, loads of other vitamins, and yeah, it's good for you, really good. Really, really healthy, and it's not going to spike your sugar levels like a lot of other vegetables and fruit does. You know, so it's so good for you. We do need to. That's another thing, is just balancing out our sugar levels. That'll boost your energy levels as well. It's about balance. It's all about balance. Powerhouse of goodness. I like that. I like that picked, man, because it's spot on. I'm glad you could move away from them. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, not everyone's got that. If you can't move away from them, get them to move away from you. Lots of, if you've got the money, lots of cordless angle grinders out there. There's loads and loads of evidence that they are, even at their current levels, above healthy levels for any life, including plant life. Yet no one's taking any responsibility for them. So if no one owns them and no one's taking any responsibility for them, fuck them. Again, if they come toppling down anywhere near where I live, nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. There's some good vids on Rumble, interviews with Barry Trower. I've never heard of him, Lorna. I don't spend much time on Rumble anymore. There's just too much information on loads of different platforms, and it's just trying to get as much variety as possible, so you build a bigger picture, a bigger perspective on stuff. If you get a multiple perspective on things, then you're gonna arrive at the truth, or somewhere close to the truth. It's just that when you've only got one, you see, it's like you'll see posts on X, for example, right? And it'll be like 8 and growing cockroach hotels burned down and growing. Police can't keep in touch, can't keep control, blah blah blah, and you've got riots outside them and all that. And then you look at all the comments, and it's like, God, they deserve it, and blah blah blah. Oh, I wish that had happened to one of the hotels around near where I live. Oh, blah blah blah. And everyone's just going for it. Yet there's absolutely no fucking evidence whatsoever, none, that post is even real. So second guess everything, unless you're looking at it and you're thinking, yeah, that sounds about right, or that is blatantly obvious. Sometimes it's blatantly obvious, but if you see a post and you question it and you think, why have I not heard any? I stay well in touch with this, and I've got my finger on the pulse of the planet, and I've heard nothing. And this is in my country, and some of these hotels are meant to be around not far from where I live, and I've heard nothing. Question that post. There are so many bots out there just putting shit out there just to rile people up. So don't believe all you see. And I know that you don't anyway. I'm just saying. Bit worrying. No one makes soup or good from scratch in general. I know. I was having that thought earlier on, that people are just too fucking lazy. It's just like in a microwave, go around, pottering around, pour themselves a lager or whatever, Bing. I don't need to do any washing up. I'll eat it straight out of this and grind away at the slightly molten plastic that's underneath this food, that whatever goodness was in there to start off with has been completely obliterated and turned into a toxin, because that's what microwave energy does to food. You're not eating food, you're eating poison. My microwave is in my loft, and every now and then I'll get a big batch full of, I'll get loads and loads of eggshells. I only eat organic eggs. And then all of those eggshells, I'll end up just blitzing them, turning them into a very, very fine powder. And then when I've got enough of it, I put it into a big microwavable bowl, and I put it in the microwave in the loft for 1 minute, just to make sure that there's no sign of salmonella or anything like that, to make it 100% safe. And then I put that into supplements with 4 different types of help me out, Lana. Anyway, that the other 4 different types of, it'll come to me in a minute, helps your body to absorb that calcium, and that just works on your bones. I used to bite my nails all the time. Now I've noticed that they're harder to bite. It's because I've been taking one of these every single day, homemade. You know, I mean, my hair's getting stronger. Oh, you know. But your bones, so your bones, your nails, your teeth, all get stronger. Everything's all of anything that's kind of gone a little bit downhill, like receding gums, or your hair's getting brittle, or your nails are getting brittle. All of this shit's reversible. All of it. Which just goes to show just how much damage these fuckers have done to us, whilst we didn't realise. It's been a very slow decline in our health. But because we've suddenly woken up and realised that all this shit's, I mean, I don't even wake up like that. I wake up very slowly and peacefully. It just goes to show. But once you've kind of come around and realised, you can then start to put loads and loads of things in place. Start doing a bit of research into how can I get my hair to be better condition, especially for the ladies, you know. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Most blokes don't care about how beautifully conditioned their hair is. Women do, you know. And then start looking into that. And then you start looking into, right, so there's heavy metals in so many things, including our water and the air we're breathing now. How can I get rid of heavy metals? There's a solution for that. How can I do this? There's a solution for that. What about that? There's a solution. You get the idea. It's just people need to get off their fucking arses and start looking instead of watching the BBC for their news. They're not going to get any health information on there. In fact, if you do, on the BBC, it says, scientists say, or a spokesperson from so-and-so university or an expert says. They never name these people because they don't fucking exist. And they turn around and go that eating too much of this could be quite bad for your health. I'm thinking, right, I need to order shitloads of that in then. Whatever they tell you to do, not always. Due diligence again. Most of the time, it's bollocks. It's the opposite. Everything's inverted. Highlands is way behind. Are you in the Highlands then, mate? We've got David's in the Highlands. He comes on now and then. I haven't seen him for a little while. A bit worrying. No one, mate. Yeah. It's cool. 7G coming. I know. Imagine that. You know, that's why we need to start knocking the shit on the head. We need to start fighting back, being more proactive. Not enough people being proactive. You don't need to start running around with a fucking cape on and your pants on the outside with a fucking chainsaw or an angle grinder and a wrestling mask. You can be very discreet and very, very proactive at the same time. You can. Everyone can do something. Yeah, sugar levels are important. I'm sorry if I've missed any. They've not had dumplings in years. Oh, I love dumplings. Beef stew and dumplings. Again, dumplings. There's a lot of suet in there. Suet's natural. You know, you put suet out for the birds, and that's how I eat suet. Exactly like that. Very, very fast. But if you put something out for the birds and nothing goes near it, including mold, you know, you put a McDonald's burger straight from McDonald's, put it on your table. If you've got a bit of wildlife and stuff, leave it out there. Leave it out there under cover so it doesn't get soaked by the rain. You know, see how many animals come for that. It'll be there forever. Nature won't touch it. This mast is on fire. Oh, now there's a song. You heard it here first. Okay. You'll be able to download it on iTunes within the next 10, 15 years. When I've got a few under my belt. Mr. Riley. Oh, shouldn't have given my surname away. Is that Terry? Yeah. What do you want? There's been a lot of 5G and 6G masts that have been brought down. And we've seen a few of your YouTube videos. You're our number one suspect. Are you here to arrest me? No, well, fuck off then. The companies have liquidated that create masts. There you go. You know, at the end of the day, if no one's taking responsibility for it, then that's where the public should be stepping in. Nice one, Jimmy. Love dumplings. I do love dumplings. I love them. And then when you put them in the oven, that's another great thing about cast iron. You can cook them on the hob, right? Then put your put the main stew in on the hob, then put your dumplings in, and then put it straight in the oven. You don't need to tip it out to something else. It's cast iron. Lasts you forever. And you get that nice crunchy bit on the top. Oh, I fucking love it. You know, again, it's English, nice English grub, you know. Wearing plastic fiber clothes kills us. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. There's a lot of lifestyle changes we could make to make things better for us. Again, spreading this information helps. You can buy fleeces and stuff like that that are made from recycled plastic milk bottles. You know, plastic's plastic. It's shit. It needs to be abolished. It needs to be abolished yesterday. Magnesium. Thank you, Michael. Not me. Do you know, it's just that there's so much in there. Sometimes it's not filed away properly, and what I need to come to my mouth doesn't always come out. But I've got four different types of magnesium that go in with that ground powdered egg shell, and it's definitely 100% made a difference. But I have to buy 3 of those magnesiums in because I've got no way of producing it. But there is another form of magnesium, a really, really good natural form, and that's from wild garlic. And I've got wild garlic now propagating in my garden. I'm going to go and get a few more plants from my usual place that I get carrier bags full of the stuff, and I'm going to plant that in a few other places nearby where I know that it will flourish. So that, and wild garlic is the king of magnesium. So out of all the plants that you can imagine that you can grow in England, wild garlic for magnesium. And it's lovely, you know, make a little bit of garlic butter and then add some extra powdered garlic leaves, rub that in, go underneath the skin and rub it right. That doesn't look good at all. Oh, you get the idea. Microwaves operate on a 2.4 gigahertz, same as your Wi-Fi router. Oh my God. I am going to get this hardwired, Lana, because I do 100% agree with you on every single aspect of that. And you are doing the right thing. And I urge everyone else to do the same. I really do. It's not going to be so. It's not nice and neat and tidy because I'm going to have to plug in. Although I could start setting up in there just so I've not got such a long cable traipsing through the house, and just do live streams from the front room. Maybe on the floor with the fire in the background, but then in the summer, right? I'm too hot. I'm too hot. Dun, 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 dun. Look at this, look. But I am going to send off for an extended Ethernet cable, Lana. I just need to try and work out what length, because I don't want it too long. There is such a thing as too long. There is. I'll tell you what, Pix, man, you fit right in here, mate. Because you know what's what. Yeah, I'm switching clothing to cotton. Do you know what? I've been wearing cotton boxer shorts for the last sort of 5-6 days. Different pairs. Just want to just clarify that. But I've only got 5 pairs of proper cotton boxer shorts. All the rest are quite, because I like boxer shorts that fit, you know, that cling to me. Whereas these cotton ones are just, they've got a little bit of flair. I don't like the flair. I like the stuff to fit. So now I've gone back to boxer shorts because they're all ready to be washed. I like to wait until I've got a full load. So the ones I've got on now are camo, but these are the most fitted boxer shorts I've got. I mean, I can barely breathe. But it's definitely something I've been looking more and more into. Definitely, cotton, especially stuff that's right close to your skin. I mean, you think about jeans, for example. That's cotton. It's cotton, but it's heavily dyed cotton. So you've got to take that into account as well. So if you buy a pair of brand new jeans that are really dark denim, put them on a really, really hot, heavy wash, high temperature wash with nothing else in there, and try and get as much of that dye out as possible, because those dyes are chemicals. None of them are natural, and that's all going onto your skin, and your skin absorbs everything. You won't believe it. Again, your skin's a really, really good way of testing for deficiencies, especially fuck me. It's like a brown stuff. Again, I'm relying on you guys to help me out here. It's like a brown stuff that's good. It's an antibacterial, antifungal, really, really good on wounds. You know, I try and come across like I'm knowledgeable about certain things, and I can't remember what I'm talking about. Well, I can, but I can't get words out. Oh dear. Switching clothing to cotton, linen, hemp, and wool. Yeah, brilliant, good stuff. I've built up my sheet collection to Egyptian cotton. Again, all of these things they've got vibrations, they've got frequencies. I know it sounds ridiculous, but they have. And you need natural stuff. Look, you think about when you eat loads of really, really healthy food, right? You feel this boost in your energy. You think clearer, you feel better, you've got more energy. It's because you've been eating healthy, completely natural stuff, no processed garbage, right? So it's the same thing. You wear natural stuff, but even there's a lot of cotton stuff that's treated with chemicals and all sorts of stuff. And again, then you've got the dyes that have got all loads of chemicals in them. You know, it's still, even when you start going down the natural route, you need to go even deeper to understand the processes that particular company puts their products through. So shy of going to a local sheep farmer and saying, you know that wool, once you've took that animal to be processed, can I have the wool? So shy of tanning it all so it doesn't get maggot infested, and then sewing it all together and walking down the street like a really, really fucked up polar bear on acid, right? You've got to do your research. A polar bear on acid. Anyway, we need some heavy metal. I couldn't live without Black Sabbath. Again, Black Sabbath. It's like when you start looking at, I do like the music, mate. I've got to admit, it's old school rock, and it was a standalone band. But when you start looking into how and why they were created, and so many other bands very similar were created, it was all Satanism, genuine, real Satanism, But again, when you start to feel like you have to overanalyze music that you just vibe to, it gets a bit sad and a bit of a shame, really. Chaga is the way to go with health. It finds the problem and reverses it. Is it legal? Better still, can I grow it? Probably not. If it's good for you, nah, you're not allowed to grow that. Why not? Well, why do you think? Well, I'd like to know. Because it's good for you. Well, shouldn't I be growing it then? No. We've made it illegal. Got some capsules on my list as well for payday. Got a load of black pepper and turmeric. Yeah, turmeric and black pepper just repeat on you if you drink that concoction. But this concoction is very, very good. You got to boil it. I made a start on it earlier on today whilst I was getting the girls' dinners ready, so I had enough to go through. And I was thinking to myself, it's going to be really shit doing a live stream and not having just a couple of vodkas. Just nice, just to take the edge off and helps me flow and stuff like that. It's a fucking Thursday. I don't drink on a Thursday anyway. Synthetic fibers affect your torsion field, your biofield, and your energy vibration. Oh, Lorna, you're making me want to strip off because I feel violated. You don't want me to strip off. You really don't. Although I think there are 53-year-old blokes out there that don't look anything like this. And again, that's down to hard work and a bit of commitment, and then realizing how much exercise helps you with your mental health and all sorts of stuff. Again, look, I don't want anyone thinking that I'm sort of sliding through this fucked up event completely unaffected, because it affects me. I'm only human. But exercise and staying fit keeps a lid on that. And like I said, you can make your entire home into a gym without shelling out for a fucking thing. Yeah, I'm Michael with the little devil horns, and then I just turn it into love, just like that. Anyone know anything natural to use for asthma? Anything that produces less dust, for starters. Lorna, have you had a look in your big green diary? In your big green thing? Not your big green thing. It makes you sound like you're not staying on top of things downstairs and you've got a bit mouldy. I'm so sorry. I don't know where that came from. I do apologise. Again, this is dirty British humour. Let's see if there's anything under asthma. It won't take me long. If I can't find anything almost immediately, I'll knock it on the head. Asthma. Page 59. Yeah. In your green pharmacy book, Lana. Just there. So I'm not going to read it all out. This is just another opportunity for me to point out just how important this book is. I've got some Euphoria Herta, but don't know of any others. I don't know what that is. Oh, Euphorbia. Euphorbia. There's a plant. Oh, that's a Euphonia. So I know a little bit about plants as well, you know. And I'm learning more pretty much every single day. I would love to build and build and build and build on my knowledge of what is available out there for free. There's foraging and there's scrumping. Foraging is food for free. Scrumping is stealing food for free. But it's still free and fun. Apparently there is formaldehyde in new clothes. Oh, I wonder why they'd need to put that in there. I wonder why they couldn't pick something else to do whatever that job does or was meant to do that was healthier for us. Death by 1,000 cuts. But again, I've not heard anything about that, mate, so I can't comment, but I've got no doubt that there's probably some truth in it, you know. Thank you, Lorna. Iodine, yeah. So you can check to see if you are iodine deficient. You can buy these little, they look like, the little ear, they say, all doctors say, don't put anything in your ear bigger than your elbow, right? But I like to clean my ears out. I've got the cleanest ears in Long Eaton, right? Plus, I've got to get them in to keep on top of Storm's ears. And they look the same. They've got a little cotton bud on one end, a little cotton bud on the other end, and the tube is full of iodine, right? And I've bought loads and loads and loads of these things, and I've made loads of sealed packs. So even if there was a flood, if I could make my way back to this house, I've got not an infinite amount of food, but I've got a shitload of food that's going to be safe and not damaged, and a shitload of medical supplies that are not going to be damaged, because everything is watertight. But you can crack one of those little things open, or buy some iodine from the shop, put a little drop on your skin, right? Maybe on your inner arm, you know, and where you've got no hair or anything like that, something that's not kind of built up. And then just rub it in and see how long it takes to absorb. If it absorbs really quickly, then you're iodine deficient. And iodine is really, really important. Again, iodine can be found in so many foods, but I just can't think of any off the top of my head. But it would have been research that I put into iodine. What's the really dark green stuff? See, I've got 11 different supplements, and none of them, apart from one, really, it's just got one ingredient. I've only got one that's got one ingredient. The rest are a mixture, because they all work well. They all work together. There's iodine in one of them, and it's very dark green. I think it might be seaweed. Kelp. It comes eventually, you know. Story of my life. So kelp, organic kelp, get loads in, because whether you're deficient or not, and you will be, because most people are, then you're going to benefit from having that. You know, you might not feel, you know, you might not take get some kelp down and you go, whoa, you know, like when Popeye gets a shitload of spinach down his throat, and spinach isn't good for you. Get a load of whatever it is down your throat and think, whoa, and it's like pop. Oh, I feel fucking great. It's not like that. You need to get back all of those things that your body is now deficient in because of the way that we live and the shit food that is given to us or we buy from the supermarkets. And it's a combination of building yourself up with all of these deficiencies and making your body efficient again. And then you'll feel it. I feel the dog's bollocks off taking all these. And then on top of that, I've now got 2 tinctures that are both good to go. I take them daily as well. It makes a massive difference. I feel fucking great. I do. Now, imagine on top of that, imagine if we were living in a really, really healthy, functional society as well. I'd be up there. But it's a start. I eat raw eggs, but eggs have changed. I don't trust. You have got reason to feel a little bit concerned there, mate. Even if you, even organic eggs, you know, there's a lot of this. I've seen a lot of footage of chicks being held in a certain position, flipped, injected with mRNA, and then those chicks go on to become egg-laying chicks, free range and organic, you know. So if you can get hens, if you've got the room for it, if you've got the means for it, if you can get hens from a local breeder and then keep hens, fuck the government. It's like, you need to tell us that you've got chicks, you've got hens. Fuck off. These people have got nothing to do with your life. You're not a child. But that's the only way around it, really. And I've got 2 hen murdering dogs, so it's out of the question for me now. But I have considered eating raw eggs, because eating eggs raw, you're going to get so much more benefit from it. But it's just, it would be such a waste of eggs, because I won't be able to hold them down. Like, I know me. I know what I'm like. So good on you, brother. I'm assuming you're a bloke. I can't tell. But you can't sometimes these days. Well, you can. You know. Hold on, you called me a bloke. Well, you've got stubble. Because I've not had a shave. Yeah, because you're a bloke. I'm not a bloke, I'm a woman. You're a bloke in a dress. You're not a woman. A woman is a woman. Now, fuck off. I don't play into their silly, stupid, poor mental health. I'm having none of it. You know, if anyone wants to be called a she, right, when he's a he, I'm not playing that game, and I never will. That's part of the fucking problem. Too many people playing into their world. You need to get a grip. Sort your shit out. Chicken feed is poison. Some of it's not, a lot of it's not great. Again, this is down to people trying to make maximum profit, you know? Whereas if you allow your chickens to just, you know, mosey around your garden, and you can get mobile chicken coops, so you can move the chicken coop around, so they're not actually out and about destroying all of your veg, because that's what they can do. But you can move them around. That chicken shit goes into the soil. You move it around, that chicken shit goes into the soil, and they're still eating all the little bugs and stuff that go into the coop. So there's loads and loads and loads of ways of doing it. You don't need a massive garden, you know, but you do need a bit of a garden. You do need to move it around, because chicken shit as well, I mean, that can be quite almost like caustic, like, you know, it can burn. It's strong stuff. I feel like I'm so far behind now, and I'm so sorry. Oh, man. I do my own garlic and onion powder this year. Do it, Jordan. It's easy. Let's move it down like that. Whoa, that went down very quick. Not just trusting of. If I've missed anyone, I'm so sorry. Not just trusting of inhalers, thinking they'll lead to more side effects and COPD. That a lot of people have got that concern, which is why I don't use mine. But I have stockpiled inhalers, because if you see someone, you know, an adult or a child having an asthma attack, and they've not got an inhaler because they've just not got anything anymore, and I've got one, an inhaler can provide instant help, you know, relief. I had asthma so bad, it was chronic as a kid. And I you know, loads of people going, I nearly fucking died, when they didn't. When I actually nearly did a couple of times as a kid. I had it so bad. And then I kind of sort of grew out of it almost. But then stress can bring it back. And when Sal died, the asthma came back. But it seems to have dissipated again now. And I've got a shitload of inhalers. And they do lose some of their potency over time, but they'll still do something. They'll still help someone, and that's what they're there for. They're not for me. I was going to look at that book for asthma. You beat me to it. Great minds think alike, brother. Turmeric and black pepper and the usual things. Yeah. I think I might, because the black pepper's quite coarse in this. Didn't think it through. Want to use natural herbs as much as possible. Yeah. And I do try and hook you up there, lass. Just need to do it more often, maybe. But then I think maybe the body could do. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to say that I do when I don't. But maybe the body could do with a break for a couple of days or a week and then get back on it again. I don't know. I don't have a break. I take these religiously. And I feel good. I feel good all the time, you know. Most of the time, you know, I had my lulls. I'll read about something, or I'll learn about something, or I'll suddenly find something out and I'm like, fuck me, you know. So I had my lulls, but physically I feel good. And I put it down to that, to those. And a lot of research went into that. I used to use inhalers for asthma. The more I used them, the more I needed them. That wouldn't surprise me. Spirulina, thank you very much, Lana. Spirulina and kelp, I believe, are two good sources of, and it's gone again. Yeah, asthma is one of those things, Lana. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, well, I believe that if we never had, and I mean this, you know, fuck the internet, fuck CommiTube. I believe that if none of us have had any childhood jabs, we wouldn't have had any of the problems that some of us have still got. And then if you look at how many jabs kids get now, and you look at how many problems kids have got now, you know, just saying. Funny enough, I never had a need for an inhaler when I was on large amounts of amphetamines are a cardio workout in and of itself. You know, it's like half an hour later, you're like, you know, like one of those birds, you know, those lovely birds, those very intelligent birds. Well, all birds are intelligent, you know, and they put certain music on, and they're like, and your heart's going. I've not had anything like that for years, but I do remember. Yeah, some good herb could help asthma, relax the airways. What sort of herb are you talking about, Jordan? Where's my asthma gone? Lana's not like that. She's pure. Leave her alone. Some good. We can't. It's all right. This light is very, very, very in my. Yeah, that's better. It's glaring, so I'm struggling to read. We can't control the world, but we can control ourselves. Yeah, we can. We can. That's a really, 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 really wise thing to say. I love that. I know a couple of people close to me has chickens. Hopefully get some in the future. Yeah, do you know, or even if you turn around to them and said, look, I'll contribute towards the feed. I'll contribute towards their keep. And if you don't mind, if I buy a couple of chickens, if you keep them, and all I want is some eggs, just a few eggs, and you know, just come to some sort of compromise so that you don't have to keep them yourself. I mean, free range chickens, once you've got them, if you put them in a coop, that a fox it's too small for a fox to get into, you can fuck off on holiday and leave them to it. That, you know, as long as if you've got a little bit of a pond or something you can fill up with water, so they've got something to drink. Cats don't bother them. Cats aren't interested. It's foxes and dogs. They come out when it gets light and they fuck off to bed when it gets dark. They just do their own thing. So as long as the coop is secure, they're very easy to look after. They look after themselves. But yeah, there's a way, where there's a will, there's a way, mate. And you want good quality eggs. I'm using Cerola cherry. Oh, right. Very, very, very high in vitamin C, but you can't grow it in this country unless you've got a lemonry, which I haven't. I live in a 2 up, 2 down semi, you know, but that is very, very good stuff. The only thing that comes close to that cherry, again, doesn't even look like a cherry, is rose hips. That's because they can grow in this country in abundance. You can still pick them now; they're still around. Bizarrely, Euphorbia HIRTA and NAC, they all help. There's a few there that I'm not. The last 3 I'm not familiar with, or the last 2, if 2 of them are one thing. Green Pharmacy mentions vitamin C and stinging nettles, anise, fennel, licorice, ginkgo, and a few cups of caffeinated coffee can calm an attack. Caffeinated coffee can calm an attack. You wouldn't think so, would you? But I don't do caffeine. Well, you could leave the caffeine bit out, Lana, and give the others a go. And some of those can be grown in England. The fennel can. The nettles can. I don't know about star anise. And I don't think licorice can be grown in this country. And ginkgo, I've got no idea what that looks like as a plant, even though I take it as a supplement. Nice one, Lana. It sounds like you have a deep knowledge of the subject. Yeah, she knows a lot of shit, mate. She does. When I say shit, I don't mean that disrespectfully, Lana. You know me. But asthma is an autoimmune disease. I didn't know that. I had it all my life and I didn't know that. So anti-inflammatory foods and fixing the gut microbiome and mitochondria is what I'm working on, hence the fermenting. Ferment. Honestly, the Eastern Europeans have been doing this for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they're still doing it now, and they're still doing it in the same way as they used to do it. They haven't changed the way that they do it. It doesn't need refrigeration. You can just keep adding to it and keep adding to it and keep adding to it. You just got to get the method down. Once you've got the method down, and you've got plenty of mason jars. And when I say mason jars, I don't mean the sort of mason jars that you use for canning. I mean just stuff like this, or bigger. I mean, if you can get something a lot bigger, then you're even better off. Just stuff like this, and then just shred stuff up into as smaller pieces as you can possibly get, and then just put it in there and just try and get it up as high as you can. Then top it up with good quality pure water, right? And then you can get these glass kind of chunks. They're about that thick, and they're like that, and about that thick. And you put that on the top, and then put another one on the top, and then put the lid down, because all of the vegetation that you've got in there has got to be covered. All of it. It's got to be covered. And then just put loads of Celtic sea salt or Mediterranean sea salt in there. I've never tried or heard of anyone using Himalayan pink rock salt in there. But I can imagine just putting a bit in there, that's not going to help. It's going to add to the mineral count that's in your fermented vegetables. So if anything, it's going to, that'll improve it. It's not going to make it worse. It might make it more cloudy. But you're definitely onto something there, Lana. 1000%. NAC is acetyl cysteine. Ooh, that sounds horrible, Lana. Ginkgo is great for circulation and the brain. It's the tree. I think mare's tail is another name for it. I've never heard of it other than Ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba. Is it Ginkgo biloba? Let me just check. Again, I've got shop bought stuff here, you know. So I do have a biloba, yeah. So even though I've got all of my 11 supplements, I do have to buy in other stuff like especially vitamin D, vitamin D3, vitamin K, because we get one sunny day every fortnight now because of these absolute wankers blanketing the sky. Again, this is one of the reasons why I believe that this great awakening malarkey has something to do with the sun, and they're just trying to block it out. It's got nothing to do with global warming, as you know. At this point, I'm questioning whether the dinosaurs existed. I think that they did, but I don't think that they were as prehistoric as they make out. I think that there was definitely some sort of overlap. They've messed around with history. They've fucked around with history so much that it leaves you questioning everything, which is a good thing, you know, especially if you've got a critical mind. But it's trying to find the evidence to back it up. It's trying to find evidence to back up your thought processes. As logical as they may come across to you, they'll sound insane to someone else because, oh, I've not read that anywhere, or it didn't say that on the BBC News this morning. Oh dear. Hello, Carl. Evening testicle. I like that. Testicle. It's not testicle. It's only just registered. But if it was French, it would be uno testicle, because you need to make it sound a bit posher, you know, because you don't want to go up to someone and say, right, bollock, you know, or you might, you know, it depends on how you feel at the time. But I always thought that testicle sounded posher than testicle, you know. It's like cough. That's quite a testicle you got there, Terry. Yeah, no, I lost one. The other one made up for it. It's like a fucking bowling ball. But I prefer testicle. You know, testicle. It sounds nice. It sounds nice. I've got one testicle. Anyway, that went off in a different direction than I didn't anticipate. Human history goes a lot further back than is being admitted. Absolutely. was 200,000 years old when I was a kid. I think some new discoveries put it close to 400,000 years now. What's that for? Is that like the start of the human evolution, that we came from chimps? Because there's only one chromosome difference between us and a chimpanzee. So the closest out of all of the countless creatures, beautiful beasts on this earth, there's only one that comes closest to us, and that's a chimpanzee. So what's to say, bearing in mind that they can genetically engineer anything now, even possibly clones of themselves, so they don't have to wait they don't have to wait for someone that's got the same blood type, the same this. They don't want to be taking anti-rejection medications for the rest of their life because the body wants to just keep rejecting and rejecting. Whereas if you can create a complete and total clone, right, that's just kept on life support in case you need a new kidney, or you need a new heart, or a new eyeball, or a new bollock, your body's not going to reject itself. I don't know where I went off. Where was we? Yeah, so what's to say, if we've got that technology now to clone, which we have, look at Dolly the sheep, that was in the, early 90s? Then what's to say there wasn't a civilization or several civilizations that had the same technology, that were highly advanced, probably a little bit different to what we are or what we look like, and they changed a chromosome within a chimp and created us. So nothing to do with evolution. Again, I don't know if this is true or not. These are just thoughts. There's one chromosome difference, that's it. So I've got a very open mind about stuff like this. Lots of ailments caused by inflammation, inflame. Yeah. Electrical items need to be grounded to stop catching fire. We are all electrical items. Yeah. Don't worry, Sky Girl. I've clocked you, sweetheart. Oh, Sky Girl. What you got on? What are you wearing? You've been shopping. You've been to Ann Summers? I like it. It looks nice. I like the way you've got the bits cut out there. Quite interesting. And the tassels. Are they tassels? Oh, no. They're not tassels. That's hair. That's hair. Oh, dear. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Welcome to the live. What a way to say hello to Sky Girl. I mean, come on, Terry, sort your shit out. Well, yeah, Jordan, spontaneous combustion. I do think that's a thing. It's very, very rare, but who knows? That could be a thing, I watched this interesting video the other day, over 2 hours long, but makes you think about our fake history. Yeah, I think we think about all that all the time. I do. The timeline and the mud floods. I will put the link here for anyone interested. Yeah, go for it, Sky Girl. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. A lot of us have done a lot of looking into that, and again, there's quite a lot of like photos and video footage and all sorts of stuff where they've just kind of dug away, and it's just like there's another 3 floors of that building, all with windows and everything. So it's all sediment that's just, and then we can be walking down streets, but then when I've walked down streets, even in Nottingham, and I've seen like a full window there, and I've walked kind of like up the hill, and then it's like half a window, and then there's a window that's kind of, you know, this is the window, top of the window frame, and then the pavement's there. But then I thought, is that down to aesthetics, just so that it looks right? You know, so they've kind of made sure that it follows all the way down to the. But I do believe that there were floods, and if that was sediment, imagine how deep the water was. You know, the ultimate Great Reset. Yeah. And the real Cabbage Patch Kids. Are you talking about the new Welsh health minister, Lana? She's like a burned Cabbage Patch kid that she's been pumped full of fluid. What a fucking joke. Anyway, yes, I've watched lots of these videos, but this guy sails boats and uses the stars and old maps. It's astounding what he talks about. Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I love stuff like that. I love anything that expands my mind, as I'm sure lots of you guys do. You know, again, you know, whether it's true, whether it's not, to some degree becomes irrelevant, because as long as we're all searching for answers, we're all looking for explanations for this and explanations for that. So whenever anything comes along that could be a possible answer, it gets your attention. And again, when we know that we've been lied to and lied to and lied to about so much, so often, it just makes us thirst for the truth even more. This guy in the video talks about multiple resets, Terry. It's shocking how many there have been. I believe that. There are a lot of people that believe that the ability to create these resets, or that the technology behind it, has been around for a very long time, and it's still there. It's just not in the hands of people like us. And so that they can create a brand new reset, almost like we're in a petri dish, and they're trying to create the perfect society. You know, the was it the mouse or the rat experiment, where they had everything they wanted, everything. They had space, they had room, they had food, they had water, they had everything they wanted. It was a very, very famous experiment, and it just failed. So what's to say that that's not what these mud floods are? We're just a failed experiment. Let's try again. Another failed experiment. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's see what technology, see if they can figure it out this time. No, fucked it. Try it again. Who knows? You know, who knows? Hijaba. Hijaba the Hutt. Bring me Solo and the Wookiee. Yeah, I would love to see Han Solo and Chewbacca smashing the fuck out of that stupid bitch. Is that bad? I just don't believe we should have any foreigners in any of our governments. Right the way across Great Britain. None. They should all be fucked off. Every single one of them. You've got no place in our houses of power. None. Especially if you look like that. Why would you put a morbidly obese, fucked up packy cunt as a health minister? Why would you do that? You do it to take the piss out of the people. And the people keep taking it. They have a little moan, then a bit more of a moan. And then that's it. It's forgotten about. Let's move along. Drives me fucking crazy. You basically put someone as a health minister. You'd put someone that looks healthy, trim. In Great Britain, healthy. They look healthy. They look trim as a health minister in Great Britain, and white. Are you able to share the link to it in the chat? Yeah, give it a go, Sky Girl, if you can, because a lot of folk could be very interested in that. This black pepper's giving me heartburn. And the best thing for heartburn is ACV. Let me just have a little sip. In fact, I'm going to do it posh. I'm having the posh stuff because it's Thursday, Friday night. Rosmaric acid. Oh, that really takes your breath away because it's just pure, this vinegar, you know. And I forget that I normally add it to water. Well, this is really, really good stuff to do on your own, to make at home. Just so you can get the rosmaric acid and the cornosic acid, two very, very, very powerful acids for your body. You see, whenever someone thinks about acid, apart from acid, they just think of something melting the skin or the body, you know? No. Some acids are so incredibly important to the human body. It helps us function. Why would anyone take health advice from her? Proper system plan. Yeah. It's just put there to fucking annoy people, to piss people off. And you know what? It's worked. It's really annoyed me. It really has. They all annoy me. Sadiq cunt. That stupid whatever fucked up bitch she is with a hijab on. That dickhead. We've not forgotten about you. you pretending to be Scottish packy bastard, right? Your fucking name's logged. You've all of these people that have created so much fucking damage, they're all logged. Even people that aren't even from this country. Jacinda Ardern, you fucking horse-faced cunts. You're having it. You're all fucking gone. You're all gone. You're all gone. You think you're safe. You're not safe. You're not safe. You're far from safe. We've had bad floods around here this week. A guy went missing last Saturday kayaking. Ton of search and rescue. Was it at the end of my road? Not found him though. That's really sad, mate. But you know what? I just wish people would just bring that the common sense element of them, if it's in there, forward, right? Everything's flooded. The last thing I would think about is, I'll get my kayak out. It's a fucking stupid thing to do. No offense, Jordan. I don't know if you knew the guy or what, you know. You could be kayaking along, right? And all of a sudden you've smashed into something underneath you because you can't see it because it's flooded, you know. Or you know, with a lot of flood water, you can't see the undercurrents, so you can end up clipping onto something, going over, and not being able to do a full barrel because you've banged your head on something. You know, I've done a bit of kayaking. I'm far from a professional kayaker, but I'm good enough. I'm good enough to capsize and bring myself back up again. But I would never do something like that in floodwater. It's insanity. People just need to think, you know, it's just, this is not an ideal situation to go kayaking in, you know? Oh dear. But I hope to find him, you know, one way or another. Oh dear. I did post the link earlier. Let me know if you can't access it. I will post it again. I didn't see it. My algorithm has tons of stuff like that. Yeah, well, algorithms, you've got to be aware of your algorithms. They're guiding you down. Why don't you stop looking at that particular thing and look more at stuff like this? You have to, like, whoa, you know, bring yourself back to the first point and then reassess and think, actually, fuck off. I was watching this and I'm interested in this. Don't tell me what I want to watch. Don't tell me what I want to like. You know, these algorithms, a lot of people think that they're all random. They're not. I'm not convinced of mud floods, but definitely believe that there were previous human civilizations. But what happened to the previous civilizations, though, Dave? They must have been wiped out. What wiped them out? You know, these are the questions that we could do with some answers to. Bicarbonate of soda is also good for heartburn and acid reflux. It is, mate, but I've not got. You see, with this vinegar, I've got it to hand, and it's also got medicinal purpose too. So it's just easier than getting a spoonful of bicarbonate of soda, and then me carrying on with the live stream, and then you thinking, oh no, Terry's got rabies as I'm talking, and it's fucking foam coming out of my mouth, dripping off my beard. You know, it's just, you know, but my heartburn's gone. But I have got loads of that in, mate, because it's good stuff. It does a lot of things. Where was the video? On YouTube, because try posting the full title and channel name, and I will find it and post the link for everyone. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it might only be possible for the moderators to put links, and me put links into the chat. I don't know. Anyone try, but then anyone give that a go. I think it's only the moderators. I think it's only Lana and Michael that can do that. But it'd be interesting if you could, because then we can all add stuff all the time. Definitely, there was no way they built those cathedrals, etc., with humans and with hammers and chisels. Yeah, I know, it's fucking crazy. That architecture that you sent me from India. I mean, come on. Politicians won't be able to walk our streets. They're better off leaving with the visitors while they can. It doesn't matter where they go in this world, we're going to fucking find them. It doesn't matter where they go. And because these narcissistic, psychopathic motherfuckers believe that they are so untouchable, right? Not realizing that all they are really, 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 really significantly low down foot soldiers for those right at the top, right down there. They're not going to have bunkers with private security and landmines and, you know, robotic dogs with fucking machine guns on the back. They're not going to have anything like that. They'll be cut loose, fed to the dogs, and I'm a fucking dog. No mercy. None. I'll do it with a smile. I wouldn't juggle fire at a petrol. Yeah, it's not a good idea to do that, mate. Even though I did fill my car up with the engine running today, but it's diesel, so it's all right, you know. I risk assessed it. I keep a fairly tight rein on my algorithm. Well, I'm sure you do, but it is very, very clever. By, you know, it'll just start to manipulate you and change what you start watching, and I don't like that. It irritates me, and it's all done under the banner of it's for your convenience. It's not for my convenience at all. I'm not interested in this shit. They're not given a name yet. They found his kayak. Stupid weather to fuck around. It is, mate. It is. And I felt quite insensitive when I was saying that, you know, because it's another life. But again, I've said before, and I was thinking about it earlier on today, right? This world is about, and it always has been about, survival of the fittest, right? If you're a daft fuck with no sense with no common sense, if you're a bit of a fucking moron, right? If you're not keeping up with the program, and when I say the program, I mean staying on top of what's happening. If you're not staying aware of what's going on around you, then, you know, it's your own fault for not paying attention. People need to just apply a little bit of common sense and critical thinking skills, and you'll be all right. Anyone that's not got any of those things, it's not our problem. Our job is to keep planting seeds. And if people don't pay any attention, they don't pay any attention. It's as simple as that. Again, like going out on a kayak in flood water. You know, survival of the fittest. It doesn't mean to say that you need to be some sort of gold medalist sprinter. I'd say a good 80-90% of it easily is just mental agility and being able to figure shit out, solve problems, find solutions, whilst not putting yourself in stupid situations. You know, we can end up in stupid situations that we've not directly put ourselves into. But the more critical you're thinking and the more common sense you've got, the more likely you are to get out of that situation unscathed. But I go out there and I look around, I'm getting more and more and more fucking irritated by people. My patience level is dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping. And then I'll go shopping to fucking farm foods and I go dishing out these little vouchers and I feel like my faith in humanity has just been boosted a little bit, because I feel all this appreciation and positivity around me. I'm thinking, why isn't it like this all the time? Because it should be, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be. There's these fucked up, demented control freaks that are screwing with it all. You know, they are a problem. We're a solution. We just need to figure it out so we can do it the best way possible, the most efficient way possible, so that we take on as few amount of casualties as possible. But casualties are inevitable. And then you go back to the kayaker. I sort of get the whole adrenaline thing. Activating that adrenal part of us, right? It's thrilling. It is. But then if you're like that, then you've got to be prepared to, you're putting yourself out there. You've got to be prepared to take the risks. You've got to be prepared to accept the fact that you could die. Hold on. Wait. You wait. Bear with. Storm needs to relieve herself. Come on, darling. Good. Yeah, people like a thrill, you know. Who doesn't like a thrill? You see, I'm not really great with heights, but I'll take myself up there just to feel that fear. It's not really fear. Anyway. Oh, synchronized dog wheeze there, Lana. Hello, Ray. You all right, sweetheart? Hope you're all right. My house is a bloody library. I love that. Every house should be a library now, more now than ever, because they are. You see Zeph with her tiny little tongue. That was doing my head in a little bit. She's just moved out of the way, and Storm's moved in with her giant fucking flying carpet tongue. Wow. But yeah, you know, I mean, I went to a couple of charity shops today, just like nipped in there because you know, there can be little treasure troves. These places can be of cheese, and there wasn't really anything in there. You know, there was some books in there that I might have bought a year, 2 years ago, maybe. But now I'm being very, very, very selective about the books that I buy because they're all reference books. Well, then there, look. They're all for reference, and they're all good. You know, I'm not one for novels and fiction. Not really interested. I'm not much of a reader. Never have been. But I've got some great books, some brilliant books. You know, and they can't wipe these books from the internet. And if we get prevented from being able to access online because we refuse to have a digital ID, once you accept that digital ID, there's no turning back. That's it. You know, we've got you in the web. I love reading, and I'm rescuing many old books and also books that will be interesting for the future generations. That's lovely, Sky Girl. I love that. I really love that. My dad, when I was a kid, my dad used to buy inserts. Used to go to the news agents and get another insert every week. There's a new insert, and then you get X amount of inserts, and then you get the binder, and you've got volume 1 of an encyclopedia collection. Then he bought the inserts religiously until he got the second one, and it was about 12 or 13, something like that. It was a lot, and I gave them to my sister, and I said for her kids, you know, and they've been chucked out now. And I said, look after them or give me them back. This is why I have fuck all to do with 3 of my siblings. You know, to me, people are people. People are people, even if they're blood. But I do stand by saying, try and bring your family together. as much as you possibly can. I stand by that. Better to post that link to that video in the comments of Terry's video rather than, yeah, that's a good idea. That might work. Did you try posting the link in the live stream? If that didn't work, then yes, posting it on the video comments is a great idea. Yeah. Better hearing your girls drinking water. So beautiful and precious. You see, you can cope with that, Ray. I find it very, very, very challenging. And I think people think that I might be exaggerating, and I'm really not. It really, really does. You know, again, it's called misophonia, and it's not nice. It makes you feel anxious and angry, you know. But I never ever, they would never know I was angry, you know. Normally I just remove myself from the situation. They've got a drink, you know. But it's not a nice. It's just a mental disorder. I'm happy to admit that, but I'm not. But it is what it is. But I'm glad that you like that sound. You know, I've got some noise cancelling earphones I could put on, and what I could do is just feed them loads of salt, so that they do nothing but drink throughout an entire live stream, so that you guys can appreciate it whilst I'm slowly dying inside. Oh, good night, Jordan. I guarantee I've missed you, mate. I do apologise, brother. But I'll see you in the next one, my friend. And if I don't see you before, have a good weekend, my friend. Have a good weekend. I have hundreds of fantasy sci-fi books, but my non-fiction has been growing over the past year. I think books are great, full stop. Full stop. It's just that I'm not a reader, but I do envy. Envy is a sin, apparently. But just to clarify, I'm not religious, and I wish I was a reader, because I know that loads of people. Sally used to love reading, you know. She loved it. She'd love a good book, you know. But it's just not for me. Yes, Terry, that is the reason I am buying the old books, because I know full well what they will delete or restrict access to the books online. Many are alternative health, medicinal herbs, etc. Perfect little collection of books there. You can keep building on it, Sky Girl, if you can, because they are going to be so valuable. They might be worth fuck all money wise, but knowledge wise, and passing that knowledge down to the next generations is priceless. Priceless. You can try post in the comments. Sometimes YouTube removes links, so it's worth a try. Yeah, give it a go. Give it a go if we can get it. Because I think we'd all like to know what that was about. I did post the link twice, but Lorna said she couldn't see it. I couldn't see it either. And normally with links, you can try typing the link into the chat and it will still come up as a link. So even if you just typed it and then just put a dash and then something else and a dash, but then that's not going to work either. Isn't CommiTube a cunt? It really is. I don't like anyone restricting my speech. I don't like anyone trying anything, or anyone trying to manipulate the way I think, or the direction of thought. that I'm going in, or I don't like any of that shit. I don't like any form of control. And YouTube's owned by Google. And it's serving a purpose for now. But one day I get a rage boner, right, at the thought of Google and any of its subsidiaries being burned to the fucking ground. So that we can go back to a better, healthier way of living, away from all of this shit. Interpersonal communication and relationships. You've got parents out there now, like, your dinner's ready, send. The son, daughter, upstairs. And then they're all, if they're lucky enough to sit around a table and have a dinner, they're all like that. It's like something out of a fucked up dystopian film. Orwell would be knocking one out. Yeah, there are no links. I've not seen any. I have been paying attention. I was gonna say spanners, but we seem to be blue cube thing is now long. Oh, man. I can't stand humans, sounds, eating and drinking. Now, I worked for MenCap for like nearly 17 years with people that have got no table manners whatsoever. And I used to have to, but they were also choking hazards, so I couldn't leave them. So I used to, when those like tiny little earbud things, not the AirPod things that fucking literally cook your brain. When they came out, they were very discreet, and I'd be able to do all the paperwork, do all the writing up, doing all the reports, you know, and updating risk assessments and stuff like that, whilst I was still in the same room, because without those headphones, fuck me. But my dad admitted a couple of years ago that he's the same. So cheers, Dad. I can now safely assume that this ridiculous condition is genetic. But one thing that separates us eating wise from farmyard animals is table etiquette. But a lot of people with learning disabilities just they're pure. They are pure, you know. They are what they are. They are who they are. So you can't say, right, close your mouth when you're eating, swallow before you talk, you know, etiquette. See, I wasn't brought up with any of that knowledge. It's just something that came about, really. And it does, you know, table etiquette and the way that we eat and the way that we conduct ourselves, it separates us from farmyard animals. Has anyone ever seen a pig eat? You know, my mum went out with a few blokes like that, and it angered me so much. Even stories for another day. But I'm with you there, Ray. I definitely need more bookcases, don't we all? Fortunately, bookcases are something that we can put on the wall so that they're not kind of taking up ground space, and then you can add a few little plants and stuff to make it sort of blend in and make it look a little bit more organic. So bookcases are all right, and you can put them up anywhere. Sorry, hasn't appeared in the live stream. That's such a shame. Especially something like cereal or the crunch. Crunch, 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 crunch. But then if I was to go out for a meal, I wouldn't want anyone sat there thinking, I wonder if this is annoying Terry. That would mortify me way more, way more. I'd be mortified. Yeah, poo tube, commie tube, cunt tube. Oh, I've got a list. BlackRock, I think, has 7% shares in Google now. I'm surprised it's not more than that, Lorna. I'm surprised it's not a lot more than that. And again, people are selling their houses, and it's the banks that are buying them up. You will own nothing. Apparently, that's not the full phrase. Apparently, the full phrase originally was, you will have no privacy, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. That makes it 10 times worse. That should put 10 times more rockets up your arse to fight back. Unless you want to live like that. You are going to find this unbelievable, but I don't have a smartphone. There's a few people that don't have a smartphone. I wish I was one of them. I think I'm coming to that stage very soon, because I don't really do walk and talks anymore. I don't do that many videos outside of the house anymore, because I don't really want the channel to grow, and yeah, anyway. So I think it's inevitable that I'm going to end up going down that route at some point probably this year, and going either 2G or 3G or a BlackBerry. But then in order for you to get encrypted telephone calls, this is why BlackBerry doesn't exist anymore. Encrypted phone calls, encrypted text messages that are encrypted my end with a BlackBerry, but by the time they get to you on a smartphone, they're unencrypted. So it's pointless. Lana doesn't have a smartphone either. I was given one within the last 5 years. Sorry. It's that innuendo mind. I do apologise. But I hated but I hated it. Kept using my dumb phone. I use the laptop to get online. Yeah, you're not alone in that. So don't feel like an odd one. In fact, if anything, you're bringing back sanity to your life. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. We all could do with going down that route sooner or later, sooner rather than later. Because we can stop any, if you see these kind of like these, imagine like a spy, what a spy would look like in a cartoon or something like that. We can close our door, and stop anyone like that from getting into our house, any intruder. It's like, fuck off. No problem. Lock the door, lock the windows, close the curtains. Yeah, we've got one in our house. We've got loads in our house. We've got retards out there that have got smart fridges that know exactly what you've got in your fridge. We've got televisions, visions that have got cameras built into them and microphones built into them so they can hear what you're talking about to aid with targeted advertising and to hear what you're talking about, listening in and out for certain trigger words. The list goes on. And then ring doorbells. If you've got a ring doorbell, I don't like to offend, but you're a cunt. A selfish little cunt. Because I could be walking my dog past your house quite innocently, making sure that I never, ever have anything like that ever installed on my house, ever, for all the right reasons. I walk past your house and your house is getting a side profile of me in detail, just because I'm taking my dogs out for a walk. You're turning your home into a 1984 Orwell scenario just by having a ring doorbell or something like it. Have a think about that. Fuck you very much. I have issues. I have users a 2G flip phone, only SMS and calls, no internet, no camera for about past 3 years now, and use a laptop to get online. Oh, the freedom. You see, these are more addictive than crack cocaine and heroin combined. But because you don't show any physical withdrawals, and I've been around people that have been withdrawing from heroin, it's not nice. But because there are no physical withdrawal symptoms, people don't realize how addictive these things are. So they carry on using them. My phone never leaves the house. I had family members try and tell me off because they couldn't contact me when they. Yeah, exactly. You know, we used to use the local telephone box. Like, go clubbing. Like, call me on this number at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, whatever, right? And I'd be at the telephone box. It'd be 8 o'clock on Wednesday, and they've been in there for about 5 minutes already. It's creeping up to 8 o'clock. You're going to be long? Got a call coming through at 8 o'clock. And I'm only 53. Look at how things have changed. Not for the better. Technology is fucking everything up. Everything. Bring on a CME. Bring on an EMP. Most people are fucked when that happens because they've not been paying attention. They've taken their eye completely off the ball. Not my problem. See all the bits on there, lot. It's not pleasant. Oh, vodka. Anyway, I would never go back to using a smartphone. Last one I had was my Samsung. I had an S5 and the S6. The S6, yeah, you couldn't change the battery. The S6 changed everything. The S5, I've still got my S5. I've got two now because I've got my dad's old one as well. It's got a camouflage back. So yeah, as soon as the S6 came out, I was thinking, why can't we change the batteries over? What's that all about? Is there a small amount of C4 in there somewhere? Is there an explosive charge in there somewhere? Who knows? This is when I said hell nope. And yeah, they are all investing in Palantir, and Palantir is all part of the NHS now. So if you think, and Palantir is Israel, Israel knows everything. Isn't it mad, right? You've got a state like Israel that produces nothing, right? They create nothing. Yet they've got their grips, their dirty, filthy little fucking scummy grips into every single aspect of the world now. And then you see, you know, the ones that have got the curly bits there and then the shaved number 2 on the red, like that. Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. And then you've got places dotted around the world where it's full of these people, right? None of them work. They're all on benefits. None of them have to fill out any forms to stay on benefits. None of them. But then we've got a lot of people from Islam. Same thing. Exactly the same thing. Again, the difference between Islam and that this form of Judaism, right? You could get a Rizzler between them. The similarities are astounding. Yet they do nothing. They do nothing for the world. They're parasitic by nature. That's why they've been kicked out of country after country after country after country after country, century after century after century after century after century. Why is that? They had the nerve to get pissed off when I point out that my phone is for me to use when I want. It's not for... Yeah, exactly. Fuck them, Dave. You know, it's because they're behind the times and you're ahead of it. I still have the S5 that I used to take photos, videos now and again, and it's kept off, battery out and in a Faraday pouch at all of the times. There's a lot of self-discipline involved there, and I like that, Lana. Them ring doorbells are just surveillance. That's what I mean. It's adding to the surveillance system. These fucking morons, these retards. And if that's offending anyone that's got a ring doorbell, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to point out facts. All you're doing is adding to the surveillance system that we're already not happy with. You know? So if you've got one, go fuck yourself. Go and have a word with yourself. Fucking morons. Absolute morons. Morons. But yeah, you're right. You're spot on, Sky Girl. Absolutely spot on. I was happy with my Nokia until 2020, when my family member gave me the cast-off smartphone. Not for me. Happy with the Nokia to send the old text and make a call. And you know, that's what I quite like about Blackberries, is because it's still got a QWERTY keyboard. You know, with these with the old Nokias, of which I'm very, very fond of. I really am. The old Nokia, like 3210s and stuff, where you've got to press a button 3 times to get a certain letter, and then another button twice to get another letter, and then 3 or 4 times to get the character or the letter you want on that one. And but that's because we've been so used to convenience again. You know, it's the corruption of the mind dressed up as convenience, just like microwave meals, just like anything else. Convenience. It's just it's convenience. It's dressed up as convenience when it's not convenient. It's not good. But convenience is the selling point to shallow-minded fuckwits, of which I'm one. I'm one. But I'm not shallow-minded. I'm fully aware of this bastard thing. And I have been for a long time. Look back at some of my earliest videos. I've been so fucking angry at these pieces of shit. But because I've got a channel, an active channel, it's been imperative that I've used this. I suppose I could have bought a little camcorder and gone around, but then my walk and talks were always off the cuff, and I've never gone out thinking I'll do a walk and talk today. I've just done a walk and talk because I've had the equipment with me. It's made it easier. I'm not going to take your fucking camcorder out with me and then bring it home and then set the laptop up that takes about half an hour to warm up and get going, and then try and download all of that onto the laptop, and then try and figure out how to get that uploaded onto the channel when I can just do it straight off my phone. Convenience. So I'm aware of the hypocrisy. I get it. I honestly do not understand the need to be online every minute of the day. Well, I am online for massive chunks of the day, but it's all about learning. I'm taking more and more and more information in. And I have said in the past that I do think that even though a lot of this information that we take in on a daily basis, for a lot of people would be quite hard hitting, you know, especially if you realize that it was real and true, you know. So I think there's part of me that thinks maybe I'm taking on all of this and I've built up a tolerance for it so that they don't have to, so that we can shoulder that and pass that information on when the time's right, so that they don't have to, because it's not nice. It is, a lot of this stuff is very, very uncomfortable. The truth is very, very uncomfortable most of the time, you know. But a lot of fucktards out there don't realise that. Hence the fucktard part. But yeah, it's, for me, it's all just educational, needing to make sure that I know that I'm completely up to date. Good night, Lana. I've just skipped all the way down just to see that. Sweet dreams, lass. What time is it? Yeah, we'll close it down at about midnight. That way, I can take the girls out and everyone can get a Thursday night sleep in. You know, again, I do apologise. I thought it was Friday. You know, I had that thank fuck it's Friday feeling for nothing. But I get to experience that again tomorrow. Silver linings. Oh my good God. Anyway, I do love to go old school club of raves, a whistle and yeah, do you know those? I miss those days. They were so good. They were so good, Ray. You know, peace, love and unity, albeit slightly chemically induced at the time, but yeah, it's another era, and another era kind of behind us now, and some very, very interesting eras ahead of us. It is bliss. No doom scrolling, not giving a toss. If anyone has killed, has liked to post. Why did I say killed instead of liked? Has liked to post, but more importantly, not being listened to or tracked 24/7. And that's the most important aspect of all, the freedom, because they are spying devices. We've not got anyone right at the end of the phone, you know, or someone, generally speaking, especially low-level people like me, you know, there's not going to be someone like, yeah, writing it all down. Yeah. You know, not like that. They don't need that. That's why they're building these fucking data centers that are using up massive amounts of water that should be directed to homes. but they're redirecting them to these data centers to keep them cool. So they're going to start destroying river systems, the ecosystems of lakes, just that they can continue to pull in as much data about you as possible, so that they know more about you in many ways than you know about you. And that's sick. Has our Dave gone to bed as well? Good night, Dave. Sleep well, mate. And I'll see you in the next one, brother. I can send you a text on my Nokia with my right thumb without looking at the bloody keypad. I was like that though, Sky Girl, at one time, because I loved, my first ever phone was a Nokia 3210. I worked for a company down not too far from here where I used to repair them. I used to repair all of those basic phones. I knew them inside and out, every single component. And I used to repair them every single day. That was my job. And I loved them. I could, texting was no problem. Send. And looking back, that was probably quite a skill, because now everyone's got a QWERTY keyboard on a touch screen, and I see people texting on them like, send. I'm thinking, how the fuck did you do that? But then I think back now you've mentioned that, I think back and I think, actually, that was more skillful than that. I suppose it's practice, isn't it? And repetition. Practice makes perfect. It's very true. Yeah, I still love Raven dance music. All of my music collection is in this cupboard here. I wish I could just pull out a couple of the shelving units, because they are movable, and just go, there's one that's nearly as tall as me, put it back. There's another that's nearly as tall as me, and then I've got loads of DVDs in there. All my Blu-ray are in the front room. I love to have a physical copy of stuff. I'm not into this rent-a-song thing, this Spotify and Amazon Music and all of that, or whatever it's called. Again, I'm old school. I've still got fucking vinyl in the loft. I haven't got a record player. I did have, just there. And I had a wall lizard. Again, they don't live long enough. So that sadly passed away. And then I just kind of changed everything around a little bit. Again, people are going to think, he's got pyramids in it. He's got pyramids in his front room. He's one of them. There's a big one. And then there's a little one down there with giraffes on the side. And I've got two big fuck off speakers either side of this unit that would wake the whole street up. But I never play them loud. I don't need to play them loud. It's all about the quality of the hum and the clarity of the sound, Anyway, I just love, I'm not into downloading loads of music, although I've got loads of music downloaded, space saving, but I do like to have physical copies of music, physical copies of films, physical. I own them, I'm not renting them. We're hurtling into a renting, crazy fucked up world. You'll own nothing. You rent it. So like when you're done with it, someone else will have it. Or you rent something electronic for a little while, and then it just goes off your phone because the rental period of that song or that film has expired. This is where they're trying to take us. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is conspiracy facts. But let them take my CDs. Let them try and take my fucking Abergold. I'll break the fingers. I don't have Abergold. I don't mind ABBA, but I don't own any of their music. A lot of my music, a big chunk of my music, a lot of people might not have ever have heard, because I was never like, well, this is what everyone else is into, then this is what I should get into. I've never been one of them, ever. They don't follow the crowd. 2 Fridays in 1 week. I love the way you think, Mike. I do. I like that. That's very, very good. Yeah. And I've got to do a live stream tomorrow night. But every now and then, I do think maybe on reflection, bringing it to a Thursday night and bringing it a bit earlier, so it's not so late. So it gives me the option to start taking advantage of that caravan. You know, get up there a bit more. All peace and love. Oh, that's so lovely, Ray. It is. And it was. That's all it was. Peace, love, and unity. But the original ravers were the Northern Soulers. They were the original the original ravers. And that was in the 70s. I love Northern Soul. It's British. Has Ray gone to bed? I don't think she has. Maybe on a Friday you should bang a few rave tunes on here and there. Oh, do you know what, Sky Girl? I would 100% love to do that, but they shut the live stream down. They shut it down. Not because the music is offensive in any way. It's just copyright. It's just copyright here, there, and everywhere, which is a shame. You know, because if anything, I'm advertising their music for free. They should be paying me. But who knows? I might bang a tune out here and there, or just to start the channel off in the background. But it might sound a bit tinny on your phone. Banging Tunes Friday. Oh, that's got a good ring to it, that has, Sky Girl. Hello, Matty. How you doing, brother? We're just about to shut down. I'm so sorry, guys. I thought it was Friday until everyone reminded me, Terry, it's actually Thursday. You fucked up, you moron. Oh. I would like to recommend the channel Static in the Attic. The video with the cow thumbnail is great. Channel Static in the Attic. What's it about? Matty? I've never heard of that. So totally, Terry. They want us to rent everything, get down to the charity shop for DVDs. And I've got loads of DVDs and CDs from charity shops. You should see my collection. It's very significant and very, very valuable to me, you know, because they're all there, they're all mine, and they're all there. I sound like fucking Gollum. They're all mine. My shining precious. I do apologise. Hey, Ruth. Too late was the cry. Happy Friday, everyone. I know, Ruth. Oh my God. You know, some people would think, do you know that Terry? Yeah, Terry. Yeah, Rose Hippie guy. Yeah, him. I can't quite figure out if he's quite smart or thick as fucking shit. I can't figure it out. Yeah. And I get that. I get that. Am I smart or am I thick as pig shit and stupid as fuck? I think I'm a combination of all three. Oh, has Michael gone to bed? Oh, man. Anyway, that's a shame. But there is always tomorrow night. And I would just like to say that I do apologise for the fact that I thought that Thursday and Friday were the same thing when they're clearly not. But they both end with Y. They both end with day. So you can see where the confusion, you know. I've got no excuse for it. It's dumb fucked every day. Static in the Attic is a channel that covers history. The video with the cow exposes Zionism and the Talmud. Has anyone watched the Crow House video with Max? It's a channel called the Crow House. Now, I have uploaded, well, not uploaded, but I have posted quite a few of his videos into the post section, and they've been in there for days, and I've got no way of knowing whether anyone can see anything in the post section unless they get a comment or a like. I'm not after comments, I'm not after likes, you know me, but it's the only way I can tell. And every single video I've posted of his in the post section hasn't received one single like, and they're all absolutely spot on. So it's called the Crow House, and it's a guy called Max. He had to move from Australia to Mexico because Mexico doesn't have an extradition treaty. So if you get the chance, please go over and have a listen. And I think he's got a very, very good take, a very good handle on things. But yeah, Matty, I will. I didn't think. I thought you'd got misunderstood there, Michael, because you're not. You're one of the last men standing at a party. But yeah, if you get a chance to have a look at the Crow House, Michael's aware of it. Yeah, he knows. He knows. Terry, if you're Gollum, then what the feck am I? I've shelves of CDs and DVDs so I can watch them when I want without renting it. Yeah, exactly. I've got a really nice little portable DVD player. Obviously, it's only going to, because it's rechargeable, it's only going to allow a certain amount of recharges before you need to have it plugged in to be able to continue to watch, but even then it will use so little power. So if you can afford to get a portable DVD player, then that would be great, you know, just for if you've not got electricity, or you've got just very, very basic electricity, very basic solar setup. And but yeah, if I'm Gollum, then you would be a Gollum-ess, I suppose. Yeah, a Gollum-ess. I've just invented a new word. So, and that's a compliment, Sky Girl. I will look into that channel, Matty, because I love history. And especially if it's historians that are ripping history apart to show you the truth, because so much of history is fake. We all know that, you know. But on that note, they're both fast asleep now, but they need to go out. So I'm going to take my bitches out, because that is literally what they are. It's a female dog. They are literally my bitches. And yeah, sleep well, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow night. Hopefully we've still got stuff to talk about, but we don't seem to run short of conversation ever. So much love to you all, and ciao for now.